All right, factoring out a GCF. What does GCF stand for? Greatest common factor. So you see, find a greatest common factor in 35 and 25. I'm guessing it's going to be a 5. I have 3 x's here, 1 x here. The greatest number of x's in both of them is 1. Okay? And there's 1 y common to both of them. 35 divided by 5 is 7. I had 3, I took 1 away. I'm left with an x squared, and I removed the y. Bring down the sign. 5y. Okay? Cool. We can all do greatest common factor. Okay. Factoring trinomials. Go ahead and I'll just do this one. Remember the FOIL method? We're reverse foiling the big thing here where your signs. If it's plus minus, it's going to be plus minus. If it's minus plus, it's going to be minus minus. If it's plus plus, it's going to be plus plus. And I'm missing minus minus, which is okay. That's the only thing you really need to worry about. So I know that there's no number here. I know this is going to be plus minus. F of FOIL stands for the first one. What times what gives you x squared, and that's an x. Now I look at the L of FOIL, this one. The factors of 15 who subtract, because the signs are different, you subtract the factors. It's going to be this one. 5 goes with the largest sign. That's how you do those ones. Right? You did that all yesterday? All right. Okay, here's a special binomials. You know the top one. We're going to take each one of them separately. So x squared minus y squared, that's the difference of 2 squares. You haven't done these yet. These will be the 2 new ones. So difference of 2 squares. Remember, it has to have a minus. This has to be a perfect square. This has to be a perfect square. And then the signs are plus minus. So real quickly, just do the 2 examples. Okay, now the first example right here. Remember, is this a perfect square? Yes. This one is a perfect square. It is a minus. That's the key. You go ahead and you put your signs down, plus minus. 7 times 7 is 49. Okay. This one over here, I just added a number in front, but remember, perfect square, yes. If the exponents are even, they're perfect squares. So I can put a plus, minus. What's going to go here? 5x squared. What's going to go here? Make sure you get the letters in there. Now remember from a long time ago, can you factor that? No, because this has to be a negative. This would be prime. And don't forget my favorite problem. Anybody remember what it is?
Something with 11 in it.
Remember? I like this problem because, is this a perfect square?
Yeah.
Is this a perfect square?
Yeah.
So we could break it up. Well, these are x squares, sorry. Is that a perfect square? Is that a perfect square? Is that minus?
No.
Can't do anything with that one. And this one you can break up as x plus 2. I told you in 9th grade you'd see it on every factoring test.
Probably see it then.
Just giving you a hint. Okay, all the new ones. Okay, I'll give you a moment to write this down. All right, here we go. The difference of two cubes. Now, I require you to memorize this for the test, and everyone complains it's really not that hard. It's just this one, that's always just the opposite, and the last one's always going to be plus. Okay? So you really have to make sure that these are perfect cubes. Okay? H cubed is a perfect cube. It's a factor of 3. Okay? And so is that. What I tell kids to do is first write down the formula, because these will get confusing. If you write down a formula, then you remember it better. And a lot of them, you know what? They just have to figure out what their x and y's are first. Okay? Now, what times what gets you h cubed? H. Okay? What times what gives you 8k cubed? 2k. So now wherever you see an x, you're going to put a h. You don't have to do it this way. Okay, now we're going to put an h squared here. Now we have to take this times this, which would be 2hk. You want to do it alphabetically. Plus, now we have to square this. Don't forget it. What is 2k squared? 4k squared. Okay? And that would be your answer. So you try the next one. And I'll leave this up there for you to look at as an example. All right, here again, the first thing I would do is write down the formula. Just so you know it, you know, sometimes I make a mistake. A lot of people, now that I showed you the long way, some people go up here and they'll just write 4x to the second, right? Okay. Huh? And this would be 3. Well, I did make a mistake on the formula. Why didn't you tell me? That's got to squeeze in there. Let that one slide on me. So now I have 4x squared minus 3. Now what's the first one going to be? 16x to the 4th. Okay? Now I have to multiply them. This should be 3y. Look, I'm making mistakes all over the place.
No y. There's no y.
Oh, there's no y there?
No.
Uh-oh. Well, I'm right then, sorry. So it's just going to be what? 12x squared plus 9. More people had that. What's this mean?
I had the right thing, but I trusted someone else.
Don't worry, Aaron, you'll have a lot of practice doing these.
Yeah.
Okay, now this is the sum of two cubes. It's very similar. Only thing changes is the minus. Okay? Oh, and I've made a mistake. I can fix that though. Okay? I want this half of the room to do this one, and that half to do that one. Actually, no, you do both of them. All right, here we go. Again, all the steps are the same. I'm going to go ahead and write down x plus y, x squared minus xy plus y squared, x plus y minus x squared minus xy plus y squared. Okay, well I know that these are going to be v's, and I know these are going to be what? 4k. So now I just plug them in. V plus 4k. V v squared minus, well I'm just taking this times this and putting them in alphabetical order. I take the last one squared and I get 16k squared. I should have maybe switched the variables up. Okay, this one is going to be 5 what, Aaron?
5x squared.
There, you learned something, right? What's this one going to be?
1.
So 5x squared plus 1. 25x to the 4. 5x squared plus 1. And now don't you like I've had students in the past try to factor this farther. It's not going to work very well. Okay. So there you go. Oh, and I forgot to put your homework down. You there? You didn't do homework yesterday.
Is your
Yes, we did.
web page not block anymore?
Yeah, I fixed it. Oh, I didn't put anything down. That's a double whammy.